Hello everyone, welcome to Genius Tech. My name is Steven. Um, I want to use this medium to appreciate those who have taken their time to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you for your like. Thank you for taking your time to share my channel to your loved ones as well for them to subscribe. Thank you so much. Okay, in my previous video, I made us understand the projects we are going to be working on. I'm going to be explaining to us how you can create a blog with Golang, React, and Tailwind. How you can create a blog website with Golang, React, and Tailwind. So in my previous video, I've showed us how the project overview, how the project works, what are we going to be building together. So I've tried to show us, and I will try as much as I can to shorten the video, but I suspect it's going to be long anyway, because we have to create the back end, and we have to create the front end as well. So, and I got to understand that many people complain about long videos on YouTube. I don't know if you guys will love me to create, maybe I should just focus on the back end aspect alone and leave the front end. But I'm still going to drop the source code in the comment section anyway. So I don't know if you guys really want me to just focus on the back end alone, or I should create both the the back end and the front end, because it's going to be a long video. But I will try as much as I can to shorten the video. I don't know what you guys think. Just drop your comments. Just drop what you think in the comment section. Just let me know what you feel. Maybe should I go ahead and just focus on the back end alone, that is using Golang to create the back end, or should I create the two, creating the back end with Golang and creating the front end with React? Please, guys, I would really appreciate your comment. Let me know what you think, so that I will just know that, okay, the content I'm creating is useful to you guys. Because most of the time when you create a long series, on a project on YouTube, like 500 people, or you might have 2,000 people that might start at first, that watch the tutorial, but as time goes on, you see people begins to drop off, even down to 300 views on the videos, down to 500 views. So there is the margin is too much. I now suspect maybe people don't like seeing a very long video. So guys, just let me know what you think anyway. Okay, so without any further ado, so what we're going to be doing today is that we are going to be setting up our project. So I'm going to explain it to us, how some of the framework we are going to need, to be able to, create our application at the backend. So majorly, firstly, we are going to start with the backend, which is Golang. So guys, let's get started. So the first thing we have to do is that let me go into my terminal here. You can open yours as well. Let me make it bigger. Okay. Let me clear this out. And so we need to make a folder now. Inside this folder, that's where our project is going to be saved. So let's make a directory now. Okay, so let's call it go blog or something. Okay, or go blog or blog backend. Let's call it blog backend. Okay, all right, let's call this blog backend. So now we have to see the inside that folder that we just create now, backend. All right. So we are already inside that folder. So what's the next thing? I'm going to be using VS Code as my text editor. So you can use any of your preferable text editor, but I prefer VS Code. So now let's open this file inside our VS Code. As you can see now, nothing is inside our file here. It's as blank and empty as anything. So first thing you have to do, if you don't have Go installed in your machine, kindly install it. Let me show you quickly. Let's go into the to Google to their documentation. Let's go to Golang documentation. All right, so Go docs. Okay. Okay, just it's very easy to set up. Okay, this is it, the first one here. So installing Go, just click on it. It's going to take you to where you can install Go. So if you are using Linux, I'm using Linux anyway. So you just come here, you click on this, and is going to download Go in your machine. So if you are using Windows, if you are using Mac, you can come here and you can download for Mac. If you are using Windows, you can do the same thing for Windows. So I'm not going to be focusing on these anyway. I'm not going to be focusing on this. I believe there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube online that can help you out, but it's super simple. If you are, yeah, it's just very simple to do. Just download it and you install it, then you are good to go. All right, so the next thing we have to do now is that we have to run Go mode init. So this Go mode init is just, if you are coming from Node.js, if you are coming from JavaScript, this Go mode init is just when you want to initiate your package.json. So that is going to be the first file. So it is that file, every of the framework, every of the every of the packages. Yeah, let me use the word packages. So every of the packages we are going to be using in our application is going to be inside that Go mode init. So let me show you guys how to go about that. So all right, so let's come here. So we have to run that here. Let's say Go mode init. So we have to give it a name. So preferably I'll call it, most of the time it's very good once you are still going to deploy your what's it called now, your projects to GitHub. So it's very, very okay when you use your GitHub username. So let's say you say GitHub, okay, github.com/ this is my own username, Kingstech 2019 / okay, the name of the project, let's call it block backend, okay, block backend, okay. You can call it any name of your choice anyway. You can call it any name of your choice, but I just prefer to use, since I know I'm still going to deploy it to GitHub, so I prefer to call it this way, github.com/ Kingston 2019, your username, then the name of the project. So let's hit on enter. Okay, so let's go back into our VS Code and let's see what will have happened. You see, we already have go.mode here. We already have that here. So now, guys, what is the next thing we have to do? So there are some packages we need to install. All right, we need to install. We are going to be using GORM. Yeah, that's it. We are going to be using that GORM to to write our queries, to query our database, to get information from our database. We are going to be using that, and it's going to help us as well to connect to MySQL as well. Okay, let's see how we are going to use that. And we're going to be using Fiber as well. Fiber is just like Express.js if you are coming from Node. So Fiber is a framework as well. So just they created similar to how Express work. It's very, very similar to how Express.js work in Node. So I'm going to be showing you guys how you can go about this. And I'm going to be using go.env, so to manage our .env files. So we are going to be making use of that. So those are the three packages at first that we need to install. Okay, how are we going to go about this? So let's come here, let's type GORM here. All right, GORM MySQL, because I'm going to be using MySQL. And another thing again you need to do, guys, is you need to install SAMP, because I'm going to be using SAMP in this tutorial. So you need to install SAMP. Okay, SAMP for just click on SAMP. So you just click on this guy here. So this is where you can get it. I am using Linux, so you can come here and download and install it, and that's all you need to do. And if you are using Windows, come here, you click on, if you are using 64 bits, so just come here and click on download. So we are going to be using SAMP as well. So that's that. Okay, let's go back to this guy here. So okay, this is what we are looking for. Okay, so the first, this is the documentation. So how we can install it, how we can go about it, how we can connect with our database. So this everything is here for us. So let's check the overview here. All right, so this is what we need to do. We need to run this to install we need to install the GORM inside our project. So we need to say, let's copy that and let's come here and paste that here. Go get GORM, then let's click on that. So we need to install it. It has already been there. Now let me show you guys. Let's go back to our VS Code and see. So yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is the package we just installed. Now go gorm.io. This is what we just installed. Now it's already here. All right, so then the next thing we have to do again, we need to install MySQL driver, because it is this MySQL driver that is going to help us to connect to our database. All right, so we need to come here and copy this guy. So let's come here. We need to paste this. Don't forget, what we need is my SQL, not SQLite. Okay, so let's change this guy to my SQL. All right, so and let's get that as well too inside our projects. So it might take a while to install it. Yeah, it's done already. Okay, so let's go back again to our VS Code and let's see it's already here. The driver is already here. Fine, we've done this now. Good. So what is the next thing we have to install is we need to install Fiber now as well too. So now let's see how we're going to get that done. So it's the same thing too. Let's go to Fiber documentation here. Okay, Fiber docs. All right. So let's click on this and let's see how we are going to get that happen. So this is what we just need to do. We need to install the, I'm going to be using the version 2. So let's copy this and let's paste this inside our terminal. So we paste this, we need to get Fiber. All right, so now the next thing we have to do now is that we need to connect to our database. So while waiting for this guy to install, we need to connect to our database, and for us to do that, so let's come here. We need to create a folder here. All right, let's call this folder database. Okay, let's call this folder database. Okay, so inside and outside in our root folder, we need to create a file that is main.go. All right, main.go. So that is all we need to create that main.go inside our root file. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is that I think it's complaining here because we need to put package.main, package main here. So inside this database, we need to create a file. So let's call this file I don't know, let's call it connect. Okay, let's call it connect.go. all right, so we have to give it a package, so the package should be database. All right, so that is the first thing we have to do. So what's the next thing we have to do now is that we need to create a table inside our database. All right, so now to get that done, so because I already have SAMP installed in my computer here, okay, let me come here and say that sudo SAMP, okay, starts. So this is going to help to start the server. Okay, this is going to help us to start SAMP. All right, you see, starts starting Apache, starts MySQL. All right, so then what's the next thing we have to do is that I have to come here. I think let me open another new tab. So I have to say local, okay, localhost/php my admin. So because I'm saying access deny. Okay, PHP trying to connect MySQL. You should check the host username, your configuration, and make it. Let me try it again. Okay, it's complaining that my access is denied. Why is that happening? Okay, I need to pause the video now to check out what is happening here. I just used this guy, a few minutes ago before I started this tutorial. So I'm surprised why it's saying access denied. So let me pause the video and get it figured out. All right, guys. So I'm back and I've gotten that solved. So the problem, what happened was that the reason why it was throwing access denied was because I already have my SQL service running in the background I don't know about. So I have to kill that service first. I have to stop the other MySQL service first before I can, start this SAMP. So I've done that already. I've killed the service. So yeah, this is what I did to stop the service. Why is the guy here? Okay, I say sudo service MySQL stop. So I have to stop the previous service. So okay. So having done that, so the next thing we have to do now is that we already have our MySQL running now. So we need to create a table. So let's come here. Let's create a new, a new data. Let's call the database name. Please kindly remember the database name because we are going to be using this database name to connect to our MySQL later on. All right. So let's call it go blog or something. I'm not really good in naming, so that's why at times I'm so really sorry about that. Let's call it the database name, let's call it GoBlog. Okay, let's call this GoBlog, and let's click on create. So we've already created that database now, the GoBlog, that is the name. So now what is the next thing we have to do? So the next thing we have to do is that we have to come here because we need to connect to our MySQL. So we need to connect to our MySQL. So the next thing we have to do is that how we're going to do that. So we have to come down here. So we have to write a function here. So let's call that function connects. Okay. So don't forget it's in capital letter because we are going to need this function in our main.go. So any function you are creating in Golang, so if you want to make that function, if you want to still export that function away from the current package, the function must start with capital letter, so not small letter. All right, so that's why we are putting this in capital letter. Okay. So then, there's another thing we need to install. We need to install go.env. So we need to install that so that it's going to help us to manage, we are going to declare our variables inside the .env file. So let me really create that .env file here in our root folder as well. So let's call it .env. All right. So we need that go.env. So let's come here. How are we going to get that? So let's say go.env. All right. Okay. So how are we going to install it? Okay. Let's come here and check it out. Okay. So here is it. We have to just grab this guy here. Let's copy this guy. Let's go back to our terminal. Let me clear this out. It's becoming messy. Okay. So let's install this go.env. There, it's done already. So then now let's come inside okay, let's come inside our .env and let's declare a variable. So let's call this variable okay, dsn. Okay, let's call it dsn is equals to. So now how are we going to connect to our database now? Okay, let's go inside our GORM here, GORM, and let's see how we can connect to our database. So let's scroll up here and click connect to database. Yeah. So to connect to our database, here is what we need to do. To connect to our database, we have dsn here. So we have to save this guy. We are saving this guy in our what's it called now? We are saving it inside our .env. So that's where we are saving it to. So this is all we need to do to make this happen. Firstly, let's copy this here. So and I'm going to show us how you can edit this. So we need to copy all of these here. Let's copy this. So let's come here and then let's paste this here. So now we need to change this user here stands for your username. I am just using I'm using roots as my username. So if your database is having a password, you are going to put a password here. In my own case, I don't have a password, so I'm going to remove this pass here. So here we are connected to our local host. This is okay. So here is our DB name. We have to change this to our DB name. What do we give it the other time? We call it go blog, right? That's our DB name. Fine. So let's save this guy here. So then the next thing we have to do is that we have to come back here inside our connect.go. So now what is the next thing we have to do? We have to load this .env file that we just declared. So how we're going to load it? So we are going to come here, let's say error now, in case if there's an error. Okay, we're going to say that's go. Okay, we're going to say go.env. So it's going to import it for us automatically. Yeah. So all right. So we're going to say that go.env.load. We need to load it first. So that's the first thing we have to do to load the .env file. All right. So then, if there is an error now, if there is an error, so we are going to say that log. Okay. So mind you, my own VS Code is doing the auto importing for me. So here is the log. If it's not doing it for you, then you just have to come up here and type it yourself. So there is the log here. Okay, so then we are going to say .fatai. Okay, in case it has an error, we want to stop the application from running. So that's what we want to do. So error, let's say error is going to print error loading .env file. Okay, if there's an error. So that's all we need to do there. So, but if there is no error now, what we want to do is that we are going to say that dsn now, we have a variable here is equals to os dot, okay, we need to import that os as well. So os dot okay, get env file, we want to get that env file. So what is the env file that wants to get? So this is the guy who wants to get here, this dsn, that's what wants to get here. All right, so we just have to say dsn here. That's all what we need to do, and it's going to be inside this okay, semicolon here. So then what's the next thing we have to do now is that we are going to say database. Okay, so we have to declare this variable database. Then this guy is going to take two variables, but we are not going to be using the second one. So we're going to say it's equals to okay, GORM. So we need to import GORM as well, GORM. So dot open. I hope you know where this is coming from, and that's why I'm trying to take us to the documentation, so that most of the time you will not think that okay, I'm the one just coming up with these functions. No, let me show you where it's coming from. It's coming from here. This is the function we want to replicate there. This is gom.open MySQL .open. This is the same thing we want to do there. So now let me just grab this. Okay, let me just grab this, copy this guy here, and then come inside our VS Code. Then I need to paste it here so that you'll be able to know that yes, it is coming from their what's it called now? It's coming from their documentation. So we need to import this driver here, all right, to take away that error. Okay, so what is the next thing we want to do now? So the next thing we want to do is that we want to say that if there is an error, okay, yeah, we are going to declare an error here in case if there's an error. So we have to do this here. Sorry about that. So we want to say if there is an error in connecting with our database, then it should print out an error. Okay, so what do we want to print? We're going to say panic. Okay, panic, that is, this panic is going to stop the normal execution of the current CUC. It's going to stop this function. It's going to stop the application from running. So okay, let's say panic could not, okay, we're going to print out this error, could not connect, okay, to the database. All right, to the database. Okay, so then the next thing we have to do again is that we are going to say that db right now. Okay, we're going to say db is equals to database. Okay, so db is equals to database. Yeah, this db we have to declare it at the top level here. Okay, we're going to say variable now db. All right, so we need the pointer to point to GORM. Okay, dot db. Okay, GORM dot db. Yeah, that's all we need to do here now. So this is all what we need to do to connect to our database. So that's one thing. That's why I find Golang to be very, very interesting. Just few lines of code and you are, you know, performing a greater function. So that is just it. So okay, let's stop here now. So we need to go inside our main.go now and, you know, do some things here as well. So what is the first thing we have to do? You know, we have to run our ports somewhere. All right, so the first thing we have to do is that we have to create a function, you know, as well. So I'm going to call this function main. All right, so we have to come here. So we have to say database. You know, we are importing that database. Is coming, we are importing it from our database here. So dot connect. All right, so dot connect, we have to initiate this here. Okay, so then the next thing we have to do again is that we're going to say that if okay, we're going to say that if okay, yeah, another thing we have to do again is that let's declare our ports. We need to declare our port in our .env file. So we need to do that as well. Okay, let's come inside our .env file. We need to declare our ports here. So let's call it ports is equals to okay, port is equals to 3000. All right, so let's declare it at port 3000. Okay, so let's save this guy here and let's come back here. Okay, the next thing we want to do again is that we have to load that .env file again here, because we need this variable that will declare here. So we need to load that .env file here, just same way we did the other time. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to say that if there is an error, now let's have this error variable. Then we're going to say that go.env, all right, so .load, okay. So if there is an error, so we want to print out the same thing again. We're going to say that log.fatai, okay. We are going to say error loading, okay, error loading .env files, okay. So then after that, what do we have to do? We have to get that port now inside our variable. We're going to say ports okay is equals to os, okay, dot get env, all right. So what's the env wants to get? It wants to get ports. That is the environment here. This guy here, this port here is what we wants to get here, all right. So then the next thing we have to do is that we have to say we have to initiate our fiber here as well. So we're going to say app, okay, is equals to fiber, okay, fiber.new. It needs to import this fiber for us. Why is it not bringing it out? Fiber.new, okay, I think it's up here. Yeah, it's up here. Fiber.new. So the fiber we need is the version 2. I don't know why it's not bringing in the version 2. Could not import, require packages, blah blah blah. This is what we need. We installed the version 2. Let me check again. Fiber, what is this guy? Where is fiber? Okay, yeah, fiber version 2, yeah, is there. So we need to maybe manually put it there ourselves. v2, okay. So then that will make the errors to disappear because we need the version 2. The version 2 is the one we install. So then we need to initiate that here. Okay, so then we'll come here. We're going to say app. Okay, so we have to initiate that app. You're going to say app.listening. Okay, app.listening to which port do we want to listen to now? So we want to listen to okay, port 3000. Don't forget. Let's come here and put ports here. So let's save this. All right, so let's check if everything is working fine. Let's try to run our Go app and let's see if everything is working fine. So let's come to our terminal here. Let's have a new terminal. Okay, so then we are going to say go run, okay, main.go. Let's see if everything is working fine. Yes, we should get good. Everything is working fine because we are getting a response here that fiber version 2, that is we are running on version 2. So we've been able to connect successfully. We didn't have any error connecting to our MySQL, and we don't have any error, we don't have any error as well in starting our server. We don't have any error. So guys, I'm going to stop here because I discovered this video is getting long. So we've been able to set up, we've been able to connect to MySQL, and we've been able to run our port in port 3000. You see it's saying here you can get this response here that HTTP 127 is running in port 3000. So everything is working fine. So in my next video then we are going to dive in proper. What we are just trying to do is we are just trying to set up our project. So in my next video we are going to start in creating our API. So the API we are going to start creating is the registered API. So if you want people to register on the blog, we want to start creating the API. So that is the next thing we are going to do in my video. So if you have any question related to what we've done, and if there is anything that is not clear to you, kindly drop your question in the comment section and I will be there to answer your question. So thank you so much for taking your time to watch my video tutorial, and if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Guys, as a payback, hit the subscribe button just to help the channel, and don't forget as well to hit on the notification button. Okay guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch. I'm your host, your friends TV. See you guys in my next video. Thank you so much.